time for the main events.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, leave a like down below. We got some controversial news to go over today. We'll briefly look at the soundtrack and the ratings near the end of the video. But to get started, there's this little post that SmackDocs put out on his Twitter, or X, or whatever the hell it's called now. And people are starting to realize what's happening, or what's happened with 2K26 and 2K. And shoutouts to What's the Status, because he shined a light on basically what's going to happen with the franchise going forward. Like, it all makes sense now. It's all clicking, and I understand it. I get it. And there's one major thing that even What's the Status I don't think realizes, and we're going to talk about that here too. So let's go look at this post, and we'll discuss about what I'm talking about. All right, so here we are over on X. And yesterday, Smack Talks posted this post right here. It says 35 new men's hairstyles have been added to the Creation Suite in WWE 2K26. 16 of them are unlocked, and 15 are locked to the island. And here's the unlocked ones. Okay, cool. Here's the locked ones. All right. But then, What's the Status says hairs behind microtransactions is insanity, especially the ones we had to pay for last year. And then something clicked in my brain. I'm like, you know what? That's right, because they've been showing off all this footage and all these things, and I've been so hyped about the body morphing and the two-tone hair and all the new gameplay functions and all that kind of stuff. This kind of went over my head, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I had to sit back and look. I'm like, they are literally taking a huge chunk of the Creation Suite, and they did this last year, and locking it behind either a paywall or an artificial barrier to incentivize you to spend money to unlock creation parts individually, not in a big pack or anything like that. Individual parts. And I knew they were going to do this. I said this years ago, like, if they ever did this where they start locking out big chunks of the Creation Suite, I'd probably be done with the franchise. Obviously, that's not going to happen because I got to have something to cover on this channel. It's a wrestling channel. I've had the best year I've ever had, so I'm kind of torn about this. I still am very excited about the game. I'm super happy with all the new features, but what they're doing right now with the monetization and the Creation Suite itself terrifies me. So let's talk about this for a second. So there's one other post I wanted to look at in response to this. Another one from What's the Status? Emali Hubbard, sorry if I said your name wrong. He says, this will likely kill the creations. And I'm like, So I read Status's response, and it says, I wouldn't say it destroys creations, but it's clearly a tactic to force players into using paid assets and monetize community creations. By locking the majority new hairstyles behind the island, creators are eventually pressured to use them. When they upload a creation with that island locked hair, it locks the creation. Consequently, anyone who wants to download that creation has to also buy the island hair first, or they won't be able to download creation. I ran into this when I was trying to make my face paint wrestler video. It wouldn't let me download Stardust because I hadn't unlocked his attire in the stupid MyRise mode. Now this is a step further where if you try to use a creator wrestler using island parts and upload it to community creations, other players will not be able to download it to use on their system unless they also go buy those parts or unlock them naturally, right? That's really sneaky and really like, whoa, they're about to kill or very severely damage the best aspect, in my opinion, of these games. Because look at all these other games with creator wrestlers or created characters. There's nothing that can compare to the 2K games. There's not one game that comes close. Now that they brought body morphing back, nothing compares to these games. Like, even those games where those MMOs, like, I think the only one that comes close, but it has an exact same tactic, but that's a free-to-play game, and that's Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. Every single creation part in that game is locked behind loot boxes. Like you go in, you buy scratch tickets, and you get random stuff, but the entire game is free to play. And they give you a ton of stuff to where you can unlock stuff naturally. It just takes 10 times longer. Kind of like Warframe did. So they're using free to play tactics in a $150 game. Now, why is this all happening? Like, what's the point of all this, right? Why are they being so money hungry in this year's game when it comes to microtransactions? Well, what did they do this year? What's the biggest thing they did this year? Got everybody super hyped and super happy. And what did they vilify last year? Last gen. They had to make up for it somehow by the fact that they dropped last gen and they're going to lose all that money. I guarantee you 2K would not have let them drop last gen unless they came up with a way to make up that money in this game. And I think the Battle Pass and I think locking all these creation parts and monetizing the creation suite is the answer. That's the answer, the idea they came up with. And I think that's why they haven't really been talking about that kind of stuff when you ask them. And I hope you big creators like Just Brian, the Pro Wrestling Shoot, Miss T, all you guys that get invited to the Creator Fest, bring this up and get some real answers about this, because if you're going to start monetizing half the creation suite, that will kill the creation suite. Now, I can understand not wanting to deal with modders and stuff like that. No offense to status or anything like that. But just the normal creators that use the in-game assets, if it's a big chore to get the parts you want to use, nobody's going to create anything. Nobody's going to want to make anything. And then nobody will want to download anything because, well, the parts they need, they have to go either spend a bunch of money or play a certain mode they don't want to play to unlock the certain parts. This literally could be the downfall of the Creation Suite. They might see a severe downtick in people using the Creation Suite, and it'll give them an excuse to stop. Like, I don't think they'll ever remove it, but they could very easily make it the least important mode of the entire game where they just barely do anything every year. This could be the last major update we get for the Creation Suite for years to come, and that's the body morphing and the two-tone hair. Unless people buy up all these creation parts on the island and this battle pass, I don't know. Like, I think they're going to be like, well, I guess people don't care about the creation suite. Now, the developers seem cool. I don't think this is the developers' fault. Like, don't go out and yell at Cornell Gunther. Don't go yell at Lionel Jinx. They have investors. They have bosses that want infinite money that they have to respond to. And I think this is the result. Like, I'm not saying that they're not guilty or anything. I'm sure they want to make more money too. But the guys that are making the wrestling game, they're trying to make a really good, fun game. And it sucks that this is stuck as a sports title that's expected to be released every single year. I feel like for wrestling games in particular, I think they should go bi-yearly, every other year. Then stuff like this wouldn't be such a big deal because people would have way more time to spend with all the stuff that they buy. Who knows? Maybe this whole setup, this whole system that they're doing this year is an omen or a precursor to them not releasing a 2K27. What if they skip 2K27 and go to 2K28 because they've implanted this battle pass and they've added in so much crap to do in every single mode this year? Nobody's going to buy 2K27. Like, who's going to buy it? Unless they completely overhaul the visuals, which I don't think they'll do. I mean, I'll buy it, obviously, because I have the channel. But be honest with me, down in the comments, with all the stuff that you can do in 2K26, let's say you play through all of the battle passes. You unlock everything in My Faction. You unlock everything in My Rise. Everything on the island. You literally get all the creation parts unlocked. You do everything in My GM. You get the Platinum. You play online. You do all the stuff. Universe mode to death. Are you going to buy next year's game? Are you gonna take a break? Like, I don't know about you guys, but playing the game all the way up until the launch of the next game would burn me out and not make me want to buy the next year's game. At least not until it was on sale. There's so many things that could go wrong with this Battle Pass setup. I mean, don't get me wrong. If they just went with the SmackDown Mall, I feel like that would have been a lot better. You could earn in-game currency, or you can go buy the currency. I felt like that would have probably been the better option, but they went with a battle pass. That is a slippery slope, and you can end up spending more than $1,000 on this game if you want to unlock all the island parts. I have a feeling that unlocking the island parts for the male character does not unlock them for the female character. They did that in 2K25. There's so many things that will eventually be answered when the game comes out. But Status brought up a very good point, and now I am terrified that they're about to kill basically the Creation Suite. So who knows? Maybe buying these games on PC is the answer, because a lot of the modders just mod all the stuff for free anyway, or mod it to where you don't have to go through all that crap. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but like I said, the whole reason this is happening, in my opinion, is because they dropped last gen, and the 2K, WWE, and TKO, they're like, well, you have to make up the money somewhere. And this is their answer. This is what they came up with. Battle Pass, locking out a big chunk of the Creation Suite to the island, relocking stuff that people unlocked last year on the island. I don't know, like, why go for the Creation Suite? Like, why go for that in particular? Why not just charge for attires, charge for championships, keep the in-game superstars up to date with, I don't know, $5, $6, well, maybe not $6, but this is where it needs to go free to play, or it needs to do the free to play model, or go buy the yearly. There's so many answers they could do, but they're just going to stick with what they think works. All right, so on to the next topic. Now that we've gotten all that doom and gloom out of the way, the WWE 2K26 soundtrack. For me, I could personally care less. I always turn this off right away because I don't want them to ruin any songs I like. The only two songs I recognize are Two-Face by Linkin Park and When Worlds Collide by Powerman 5000. I have no idea who the rest of these people are. Maybe if I heard the song, I'd recognize it, but this is where we need the custom soundtracks back, or just to give us background music. We don't need official songs. I complain about this every single year. Why do we do soundtracks? It makes no sense, because now, when the contracts are up, you can't re-release this game ever because these stupid songs are in here. It's like, just give us custom soundtracks. It makes no sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. And you can't use any of these for Creative Wrestlers entrances unless they change it this year. So it makes these songs worthless. It makes it useless. Oh, cool, you can listen to them on the menu. Big frickin' whoop. And if you make Creative Wrestlers a lot, well, you're going to be listening to songs over and over and over unless you turn them off. So what I do every year, I'll just tell you what I do every year, is I go through all the songs from the wrestlers, and I pick all the ones without any lyrics, and I put those on so it just sounds like background noise when I'm making the game. Either that, or I turn all the music off, and I turn on my computer here, and I play music on the computer. But then you can't hear it when you're doing other stuff. So, or I listen to my headphones or listen to YouTube. But for the most part, I just turn on the theme songs with no lyrics, because that's the only way to get background noise. So I've heard, I want to say, Fatu's music a bunch of times. I've heard Ultimate Warrior's song about 8 gajillion times for making wrestlers. A lot of the songs that don't have any lyrics, like Brock Lesnar, dun, 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 over and over and over again. So some of those songs, 5, 6, was it 10 years in a row? I was like, come on, man. Come on. All right, so the last thing for the video is, well, a couple things. Jelly Roll has been confirmed for the game, so there will be a celebrity pack, or a celebrity ringside pass season, whatever the heck it's called. So the highest rated superstars on Raw would be CM Punk and Seth Rollins at 94. Oh, and Brock Lesnar. And then on the women's side, we got Asuka at a 91. And then it looks like Roxanne Perez at 85. Oh, wait. Then we're down here. We got Rhea Ripley at 96. And Naomi at 92. Okay. Becky Lynch is a 94. Io Sky 93. Stephanie Vaquer 92. And Liv Morgan 92. So these are the highest rated women, I think, in the entire game. Yeah. Those are the highest rated women. Then we got Bianca Belair, wherever the heck she's at. I think she's just had surgery on her finger. That's crazy that a finger could cause that much problems. Charlotte Flair, 93. Tiffany Stratton, I think she went up. She's a 91. Bailey down to a 90 or 89. Jade Cargill's an 88. I feel like she should be closer to 100. I mean, she's a beast. She's like the female Brock Lesnar when it comes to whooping ass. Nia Jax is an 88. Let me go down to the SmackDown men's highest rating, and that would be Cody at 95 and Roman at 95. He dipped. Drew McIntyre at 93. I think he went up a little bit. I think he was 91 last year, wasn't he? And then Gunther at 93, Randy Orton 92, and LA Knight at 89. And I believe that's the highest ones for them. And then NXT, just because I like Obafemi, he is an 85. I think he'll be 90 next year, especially if he does a bunch of cool stuff at WrestleMania. I have a feeling he's going to skyrocket. Joe Hendry is an 81. That's really good. Down here, Blake Monroe is only a 78. But in the world of WWE, she hasn't really done much yet. I'm surprised Jordan Grace is only an 81. I have a feeling there's another version of her from the My Rise mode that's like 90 or something. But for this version of her, it's an 81. So that's really cool. So there's all these have been posted all over the internet. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you want this one. There you have it. What's hilarious to me is the highest rated superstar in the game with a perfect rating is John Cena, Super Cena. So Super Cena has a perfect rating. I think they did that a couple. Was that in the 2K23 they did that, or 2K24, or was he at 99? I'm pretty sure he was 100 in that too. But anyway, Super Cena has a perfect 100 rating, which again doesn't really matter, but it's still funny to see. Although I don't see anybody here. Do you? I should use Photoshop and edit him out so it's like Super Cena and there's nothing here, or at least make it an outline. That'd be kind of funny. So there you have it. There is the news for today. Sorry to be all doom and gloom in the first half of the video. I'm just really worried about the Creation Suite because that's what the only reason I buy these games is to make my wrestlers and have a bunch of fun with it. Obviously, I'll still buy the games, but I really don't want to spend the first 6 months having to unlock everything, and then the last 6 months actually finally getting to make my wrestlers. And I feel like it's leaning towards that. And if that's the case, Ultra Pro Wrestling, the Wrestling Code, these other games cannot come soon enough. We need some competition for 2K to cut this crap, but don't yell at the developers. It's not their fault. I believe it is the corporate mandate of make more money, no matter what. And unfortunately, by dropping last gen, this is the result. Sound in the comments below. How do you feel about all this? And as always, stay frosty.